Hi y'all. All right, this is very late. And I kind of picked this recipe for today, but didn't realize it was going to end up working out even better than I thought. So it is almost 5 o'clock here, so that would mean it's just about dinner time, except my husband is still, I say 3 hours out from home, maybe even longer. So I'm making red beans and rice, and red beans and rice isn't really a crock pot recipe. It's so easy just to throw it on the stove, but by putting this in the crock pot, I can let it sit here and cook. My kids can come get some, my husband can get some when he gets home, and it's just sitting in the crock pot, staying hot. But when I typically do this, I do this about 2 to 3 hours out, and I could put it on low because I just let it sit and simmer. Oh man, I didn't open some things. Anyway, I needed to get this video going, so at least it'll be ready in at least an hour to an hour and a half. Red beans and rice is nothing traditional about this recipe. I don't think anything in my recipe collection is traditional. This is just a super easy, quick take on something that we love. I love red beans and rice. When I'm in Louisiana, and especially New Orleans, I always get red beans and rice. So I'm kind of doubling the recipe for my family. My kids are big eaters. My husband is a big eater. I want to make sure we have enough, and then if we have set leftover, then we have leftovers. So this is 2 packages of the reduced fat butterball turkey sausage that is already pre-cooked. Now, I do think that browning sausage like this does something extra to the flavor, but I don't have time for that, especially today, since I need to have this ready about an hour and a half for my kids, and then when my hubby gets here. And you know I'm all about using what you have. I've said that so many times, but it has to go with what you're replacing it with. Typically, this is what I use. I would use a whole package of this. However, I can only find this one package, and I know for sure I bought at least 1, if not 2 packages. So it could be in my big freezer hidden, and I just couldn't find it, and I didn't have time to keep searching. So I'm going to use this. And if you know me and my weirdness, I've been getting so many spam calls today. It is ridiculous. I don't know what they're spamming me about. Okay, I don't like bell peppers. They're not my favorite. And if I do eat them, I want them cooked. So like on the carne asada I made this week, I think I used fresh. And then by the time it was ready to eat, they were still a little bit too firm. So I used my immersion blender and blended that up. So then the gravy was just mostly pulverized with the bell peppers and the onions. So what I'm doing, I've got the 2 things of the reduced fat turkey sausage in here. And I'm just kind of rough chopping. I don't think I finished my train of thought, y'all. I'm sorry. But since these are frozen, they will cook a little bit faster than if I was using fresh. If I was using fresh in this, I probably would have browned the sausage and then the onions and peppers in the sausage, the pan with the sausage, because I definitely want them cooked in this. And I'm not like really chopping these finely, but anything that looks a little extra big, I am chopping just to kind of make them a little bit smaller. And if you're not picky and you don't have picky people about bell peppers, then I wouldn't even worry about this. But I am a little frustrated I couldn't find that bag, because this is a dump and go recipe, and it's a lot quicker just to throw a bag of the seasoning blend in than to rough chop bell peppers. And I'm more picky about bell peppers than I am onions, so I'm really just trying to make sure that they are somewhat cut down. For the rice, you definitely can make cauliflower rice, which I think would be excellent with this dish. But since it is an E with the beans, and you can make cauliflower rice very low calorie and like not add any fat. But you could definitely do what I would do is I would do a beef or a chicken broth, cook that cauliflower rice until it is done, and then add in some Creole type seasonings. Now, I have one child who's really, I think some of them might all have a little bit of heat sensitivity. No. Anyway, a couple of my kids out of the 5 might have some heat sensitivities, but I really have to take care of the one that lives with me. So I would just add things. Oh, I didn't get out my garlic. I gotta get garlic. I'd add like garlic. Just look in my cupboard and find things, and then put the Tabasco and the Tony's out that they could add individually is what I would do for us. But I'm going to be using this rice. I think it cooks it in 10 minutes, and all it is it's rice that was cooked and then dried, and then brown rice in 10 minutes. A teaspoon of salt. And I didn't get anything else in such a hurry. I didn't get out spoons. And I always like to, I don't say I always under season because I have over seasoned so many times. I like to just put enough in so that then at the end when I taste it, I can add more. Because a few months ago, like 3 meals almost back to back, I over salted. I think, I don't know, try to maybe, anyway. So now I don't add a whole lot at the beginning. Smoked paprika, I think I did a half a teaspoon. I think the recipe might call for a teaspoon. I just glanced at it before I went live. And like I said, I'm kind of doubling it, but I'm using 3 cans of red beans and not 4. The original recipe calls for, oh, I didn't do double salt. 2 cans and a half a bag of seasoning blend. So I've done 3 cans of red beans and 1 whole package of the bell pepper and onion. And these are rinsed. If you don't want to rinse, don't rinse. I want the beans rinsed. Okay, so I forgot to get the garlic out, so I'm going to add at least 2 tablespoons. I'll have to look at the recipe. I might call for 2 tablespoons, so I might just do 2 big blobs of garlic. And then it calls for a can of Rotel. Well, this makes a lot when you double it. So I'm using 2, and again, mild because my daughter. It's so funny, my husband can eat such hot things, and like so hot. Like he'll make things and I'm like, well, I can't eat it. It's ridiculously hot. And he's like, it's not hot. And then I've got my daughter who probably can barely even handle mild. And now I need to add a whole can of water. The original recipe, which again, I'm doubling, calls for half a can of water. So I need a can of water and about 2 to 4, I'm not sure how many, probably 2 tablespoons, good heaping tablespoons of minced garlic, and that's it. So this recipe is one that does not need to cook on your crock pot all day. Can easily and quickly, be made on the stove. But the convenience of the crock pot is something I appreciate. And then when I've got family that's going to want to eat in about an hour, and my husband who won't be here, he hasn't even said he's on his way. And the drive from where he's at is over 2 hours. And then to get home, and anyway, I guess he won't be home till about 8 tonight. So by cooking this, getting it hot, and then putting it on keep warm, everybody can eat this from here, and then we'll clean up from there. He's just sent me a text, so he's just now leaving, so he won't be home till 8 or after. So this will be hot and ready for everybody in about an hour to an hour and a half. I'll cook up the rice and then put it on low, and so then, so it's a great meal for something like this. And I had no idea my day was going to work out like this, so it's kind of perfect that I picked this meal for this, for tonight. Any thoughts or questions? If you've tried this, I've heard a lot of people really, really appreciate this recipe. One, it's super quick. It's super easy. It gets you your healthy carbs, and it can be done real quick. But I hope you're having a great week, and if you got snow, I'm jealous. No snow, just cold here. My mom moved to Georgia a few years ago, and I think she said it was 10 degrees where she is, and no snow. But that's it. If you haven't tried this, I would recommend this. It is not hot at all. You can make it as spicy as you want. And if you have made it, I would love for you to share like any tweaks or anything that you might do to make it better for your family.